So they're eating twice a day because we were cut our irrigation water. So that means we are not able to irrigate to grow our pastures, which they would be eating twice a day. Now they're eating forages, their hay and grain twice a day here in the barn. If you're not making money to pay your feed bills, you need to either sell cows or just get out of the business. You don't want to continue to go in debt. But for someone like myself and even my dad, well, my brother, you know, I raised the calves. I watched them become milk cows. It's a hard thing. You've picked the genetics, you've watched them, you know, produce good milk, maybe give you really good babies. For my dad, some of the older cows we've sold, those maybe came from the very original herd. Like you go on the computer, you look up their number, look who their mom is, their grandma, you know, so you have to remember it's a business decision, but also you are invested in these critters 365 days a year. You know, you're culling animals that are still young, viable, normally what you wouldn't cull. We cull an animal because maybe she's lower in milk production, gets a bad quarter. You know, there's all sorts of things of why you would cull a cow for what we call the meat market, but to cull a good 2-3-year-old cow, that's hard. You know, we did it because of the drought. We don't know what feed costs are going to be. We don't even know about the feed availability. So you had to make a decision to make sure that you can continue to dairy through these hard times. So this little piece we would never have irrigated, but the piece across out there a ways was 40 acres that we did not irrigate once this year. We had to make hard decisions on where the water was going to go, and this field did not get it. There is a flood control channel that runs right through our property that goes out to the Laguna, which then feeds into the Russian River. This is the first time in my lifetime I have seen it dry. Why I think it's worse is last time you had, since 2015, you had measures put in, if you think of plant flows to the wastewater treatment. You know, when you put in a new apartment building, they're putting low flow toilets. Water conservation was being taken, you know, has still continued to be taken in place since the last drought. So you have less flow to the plant. And one thing we did not see this year was the runoff. So when we did get rain, it would be like a 2-week spurt between each rainstorm, and the ground was starting to dry up. It'd rain, the water would go right through the ground. I barely would see puddles, you know, and that's unusual after a good rainstorm. If you consider a 1/4 of an inch around here with a clay pan, it's starting to run off by that 1/4 of an inch. But this year it just didn't. It just seeped right into the ground. So when there's no runoff, you know, off our streets, off our ditches, that also goes to the plant. There was no capture for the reclaimed water system. So we're coming up to 30 acres that we kept in irrigation this year. I have 3 lines they're called K lines. They're running right now. This is the city water. We still have about 2 inches left out of our allotment. So I'm just keeping this green. We're gonna put our heifers across here to graze once I've got it growing again. You know, just looking long term, selling cows that aren't producing right, maybe some hard breeders. Instead of keeping them around longer than we normally would, we may sell them earlier. And if someone is looking for young cows, it's never out of the question that we would sell some more milk cows to reduce our herd size. Trying to look long term, it's frightening to, you know, you don't know what prices are gonna do. You don't know if we're gonna get early rain or no rain at all. So you just try to prepare for the worst.